Hello, Bailey.
Hello, Lydia.
Hello, Grandpa.
Hello, Lydia.
Hello, Toady. Is it Toady in there?
It's the Tony Awards.
Hi, I'm Emily DeCola, and I'm a puppet designer. It's a lot like dance and choreography in that I design characters from a kinetic perspective. All of my puppets, particularly my puppets for theater, work with performers and their own bodies to sort of echo and amplify the ideas about character and storytelling that are built into them.
I went out and I was doing, anything I could to pay the bills, of course. And I was doing sound design and lighting design and set design. And as my work evolved, computer editing was just coming out. And I remember spending hours zooming in, to 1,000th or 1,000,000th of a second and literally seeing the waveform and going, oh, if I edit it right there, it'll sound perfect. And I said, oh, well, that's what I care about. That's what I'm excited by. What I'm trying to explore is the idea of making textures out of the violin that aren't necessarily music per se. I think that my primary value as a designer, far above my composing skills, far above my listening skills, is my ability to read a play and understand what it is.
Let's take a 10-minute break, everybody. I love my cast. Number one, a good stage manager has to have a personality, is really key. But it doesn't hurt. It's inflatable. I can be serious and I can keep things under control, but I can be pretty goofy in rehearsal. And I think that it's important to do that because, theater is all about having fun. I'm going to my table. Working in the park is fantastic. It's a New York City tradition and it's so cool to be a part of it.
Just to remind you that we do have the band.
Just doing this because it's outdoors is a completely different experience from doing something indoors, first of all. But also this begins and then it closes. It changes everything about the way you feel about the show. You want to make it as good as you can and then you want to plan for what you're going to do when it's over. And then, at 8 o'clock or so, I get the house from the house manager. 5 minutes for Jonathan Groff. The stage manager is really like, okay, we're going now. Places, lights go. The stage manager is making it happen. Lights go.
Look on me. Dionysus.
Thank you very much. Lights 123. Go.
I was finessing with the actor how to react to all of the actions. Every time he would fly in one direction and then he would have to turn around, we were finessing how to turn, how to make every motion that he does natural. And this is where you dip down, and then you'll come up, look at the star, fly over to here. And now, when you start to turn your shoulder and lean into it.
This hand actually makes the contact right here on the chest. In truth, all of it's acting. When I use the word schmacting, it's that sort of kind of thing. The sword fighting itself is not complicated. It's not very complicated like I would do for a Hamlet or a Romeo and Juliet. It's actually just a great deal of fun. But it's done with such gusto and vigor that the audience is left with a real sense of this guy and the situation. Like that, whoa, last minute kind of thing. The reason that we have a fight call for every show is for the actor's safety. The number one rule in my list of 10 is safety. Safety first, safety first, safety first. That's great. That's really, if it's not safe, and we can't do it 1,000 times out of 1,000, we can't do it.
On my show, Lacage, there's a scene at the top of the show where they kick beach balls into the audience. So what we have to deal with is with the fact that these beach balls hit the equipment. That kind of thing we constantly have to check and make sure that everything is in place before the show. I just have to be aware of how the system is behaving. The weather can be a factor. If the air is more humid, the house sounds brighter, everything sounds a little louder. And conversely, if it's dry, it sounds a little dull. So then I have to mix the show differently. I have to be aware of how the actors are feeling sometimes. if someone is tired, you know, I try to help them out in that respect. My hands are on the faders all the time.
I'm usually, in any time of the year, working on 4 at least projects at one time.
On aboard for the Haylands.
Good heavens, the place is stiff with police.
We ride the railways and sell underwear.
That's all we do. Oh, just get on with it.
Oh, sorry.
I was working with Eric, who's going to be Man One, Clown One, and he has to be Mr. Memory. That's the first thing we see him as. This funny little man that comes on ice, you know.
Am I right, sir?
Quite right, Mr. Memory.
Thank you.
Let me take that back just for a little tweak on the 5.
5.
Yeah, just think of it's not. You don't want to go to the oi, but think of the or.
What did I do? Did I keep it too I?
You kind of just went to far. Yeah, a little bit too standard.
American.
Yeah.
What most people don't know about the voice is how difficult it is to develop the instrument, how incredibly athletic it is, how in shape you have to be, how dedicated you have to be, and what a hard worker you have to be to make it look oh so easy. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want your most beautiful, natural, free sound. The voice is not like a piano that you can get tuned 4 times a year and you're good. The voice changes depending on weather, depending on how much sleep did you get, depending on what you ate, depending on your mood. The last part of the lesson is we work on material. I think the important thing for musical theater is you have to be able to sing everything. You have to have a great legit. You have to be able to belt. Now you've got to sing pop rock. Whoa. And you have to have an amazing mix, because it's the mix where the hugest vocal range is.
I was working with David Hibbard, who's a new member of the company, trying to learn this bit of material. And it's a jump rope piece that's set to tap dancing. And David was learning a piece from the show that's a bit tricky, and it takes a long time to learn.